It is Monday, Parshas Pinchas Yidala Tamas Tuvshin Paivuv, June 29th, 2026. My name is Gershy Schwarcz and I'm your host with the news of the last 24 hours on Edge.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.
Today's news is sponsored by Halo 2 High Functioning Water, Kosher Skinny Shot, and My Home Finish. A historic heat wave in Europe has already claimed the lives of 1,300 people so far. Very sad. The United States and Iran spent the weekend hitting each other, obviously, and now, let's say they are done. But for now, obviously, and here's the joke, they don't want to talk, but the Iranians still want the money, obviously. And there's more sad news today. 3 Yidden were found dead after the Venezuela earthquakes, and 4 others are still missing. In the US, police are now using AI tools to solve crimes. One example is the attempted assassination attempt on Trump in April. For those of you who remember, during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And all this and more only here on Edge. But before we do so, let's talk about My Home Finish. How much did you spend on your last set of window shades or blinds or curtains? And how long did it last? I'm not even going to bother finding out the answer. You know why? Because I know that My Home Finish is the top leading brand in high-quality window shades, blinds and curtains. The Heimischen Galat, and they're very, very proud of it that they employ 100% Heimische Yidden, come down to serve Monsey, Monroe, upstate New York, and even now the Catskills. Get a free quote today on 845-372-6613. Mention on Edge and you'll get 5 to 10% discount on your orders. Clients come back for the price, they come back for the service, but they don't come back for the quality. You know why. That's My Home Finish, designed to last. 845-372-6613. And you can email info@myhomefinish.com or visit the website, myhomefinish.com. Let's talk about the news, shall we? A record-breaking heat wave across Europe has now been linked to 1,300 deaths. In France alone, around 1,000 extra deaths have been recorded, and officials expect that number to continue to rise, sadly. Germany just hit an all-time record high of 41.7 degrees Celsius. The extreme heat has created severe conditions in Paris and is causing major damage to Europe's buildings and roads. The head of the World Health Organization, Tedros, whatever his name is, warned that Europe is simply not prepared for such temperatures this high. They don't have ACs in their houses. Do you know that in Europe and in England, it's not a normal thing. I don't think my parents even have an AC in their house. I mean, in Europe, it's been known for years already like this. It's a normal thing. It's not like unheard of. People don't have ACs. They never installed it. It wasn't a thing. Anyway, weather forecasters say that temperatures will drop slightly this week. Baruch Hashem, it will bring cooler air and some rain, but the intense heat is expected to return by the weekend. Drinking enough water is not just about being thirsty and saving lives. It's super important to keep your body safe. That's why you need Halo 2 high-functioning water. And with Halo 2 high-functioning water, with those of you who live outside, I'm sure you can find it in the grocery stores there. I know it's been imported. I believe so. I will find out for you, but I know that Halo 2 has a hechsher. Find it in all your local kosher grocery stores. Halo 2 high-functioning water. Every bottle gives you clean, refreshing alkaline water with a powerful 9+ pH. 9+ pH. It's a daily shield for your body. Buy your Halo 2 high-functioning water at the local stores and supermarkets right now. It helps your liver fight any, unwanted guests, viruses and stuff. Okay, let's talk about the next thing. It was a very, very tense weekend for the Americas and Iran after both nations exchanged attacks and bombs at each other. We reported yesterday, with the breaking news on Edge, right, that Iran fired drones and missiles at U.S. bases in Bahrain and Kuwait, and as a result, one Qatarian died on a ship from shrapnel. And American Navy and Air Force jets launched a wave of airstrikes against Iran, obviously, and U.S. officials say no Americans were injured during the attack. The U.S. says its direct phone line, the hotline, right, to Iran was not working on Shabbos. It was supposed to be an open line between the two to be able to talk to each other. It was already talked about last week in Switzerland, but nothing happened, obviously. Instead of calling, Iran's foreign minister made an announcement. He was just in Iraq right now, right, to all ships in the Strait of Hormuz. They demanded that all ships coordinate their travel directly with Tehran and with nobody else. If the ships refused, they promised to cause trouble. This confusion caused massive problems on the water. Even though the US and Iran are fighting, Iran and Oman seem to be back being friends now, or under gun, I would say. And how do I know that? Because just now, the Iranian ministry said that, listen, if Oman doesn't cooperate, we will find a different way to do this. That's what they said. An ambassador to Oman, his name is Richard Schmeira, or Richard Schmeira. Interesting. So it sounds very Jewish, this name. Also said that the military exchanges appear to be finished. In other words, there's no more attacks going on right now. But between the US and Iran, things are still shaky. Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, Iran has requested a meeting. It will take place tomorrow in Doha. He's saying it because, despite what everyone else is saying, that it's not happening. But Iran's deputy foreign minister says that it is not happening. And another foreign minister retweeted Trump's post on Truth Social, saying, I know that the Trump regime requested this meeting, and we are not going to make it happen, so it's not happening. He claims there will be no meetings between technical teams this week. He says a new round of talks will only be scheduled after they hold more discussions with Qatar. He said no talks are happening with the US in the coming days, and the American delegation's trip to Qatar has nothing to do with Iran's delegation in Doha. They say that, well, speaking of Qatar, before we continue, Qatar's new airplane, the one that they bought for Trump, the new Air Force One, will be traveling to Dakota, to North Dakota, I think, for L'Chuvah, the 250th birthday of America, with Trump in it. They say that Iran's top priority, back to the discussions about the peace talks, is implementing the Memorandum of Understanding. But like I said yesterday on my short breaking news on Edge, this is a memorandum of a huge misunderstanding. Anyway, and unsurprisingly, both sides are also arguing over what this new agreement is. And, well, actually says Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, which you can see over here sitting in that chair, that's him, announced that $6 billion will be sent to Tehran, which is the capital of Iran. This is part of $12 billion in frozen funds, Iranian money currently sitting in Qatar, in the banks in Qatar. An American official immediately denied the claim. He stated that the money will never actually reach Iran under the deal supported by President Trump, which is the MOU. Speaking of what deal you will reach is when you find out that your health and your diet depends on one simple thing: kosher skinny shot. Now, kosher skinny shot is very successful, has been very successful, and they came back again to On Edge saying that they were so successful with the amount of calls and customers that they got. Baruch Hashem, and I'm very pleased to announce this, that it helps, when you find out from advertisers that they come again, you know that you're successful in the outreach, which is an important thing. I'm going to try my best, obviously, when I do the news, not to prolong the ads, because I know it does take a lot of time with the news itself, but you get the message. 845-456-8924. Again, the number is 845-456-8924. kosherskinnyshot.com. That's the website. Try it out. See what life-changing results you will see. It's not dangerous, and it's not just made for people with struggling with obesity. Defense Minister Israel Katz says, listen to this, that Israel is ready to act against Iran completely alone, independently. He has instructed the Israeli military to prepare for a new plan called Operation Blue and White. This would be an independent Israeli strike on Iran without the United States. Katz warned that Israel could go to war with Iran as soon as tomorrow. Yep. Now Iranian computer attacks against Israel have tripled in 2026 alone. Now, with even the ceasefire in place, it has reached 4,800 record attacks in this month alone. The attacks have increased recently. The ongoing cyber war also includes digital propaganda, obviously, like ads. This includes Lego-style artificial intelligence animation videos as part of their campaign. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is opposing a plan to hold his criminal trial, the hearing, 5 days a week, which they wanted. Netanyahu finished giving his testimony on the witness stand last week. His defense team is now preparing to bring in other witnesses to the court, obviously, to defend him. Today, the Haredi parties in Israeli Knesset said that they will stop voting with the government in the Knesset. They are angry that the government didn't move fast enough on the laws it promised them about the Gzeros, about the draft laws. Because of this, the Knesset ended its work a little bit early today. There are two laws the parties are pushing, the Haredi parties. The first law would stop all arrests of Bochurim who didn't serve in the army for 90 days. During those 90 days, there would be no arrests, no investigations, and no cases against them. The law is set to be discussed tomorrow in the Knesset's Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee with Israel Katz in it. The second law would make learning Torah a basic law in Israel, one of the country's highest laws. It passed a first reading earlier this month, and it could and it will come up for another vote as early as Wednesday. It still needs to pass 3 more times before it becomes the actual basic law, which is a major achievement if passed. Degel HaTorah's Moshe Gafni and Shas's Aryeh Deri and said that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised them that he will move both laws quickly. The Mechalelei Torah parties, obviously, are against the laws. As you can imagine, they say, why shouldn't they? Why should learning Torah be as equivalent to the army? Well, they haven't learned much Torah to know the reason why. I'm suggesting that they should probably look into the Torah to see why. The army says it is badly, well, obviously those who don't learn, who have a hard time learning yeshiva, should probably go to the army, as that's what most of those opposing parties, which are not opposing the law, but they are opposing the idea, why shouldn't they go to the army? Because the army says it is badly short on soldiers, and the High Court already ordered the government to start punishing those who do not serve. Now, those who do not serve, he means to say those bochurim who sadly go around doing nothing with their day and on other things, on drugs and chvaisashvus, and don't sit in yeshiva, are outside, and there's a lot of them sadly today. He claims that those bochurim, those chevra who are not mismedrash anyway, should go and should be forced to go to the army. That's what they claim. And Israel must hold new elections by October 27th now. Defense Minister Israel Katz is pushing for an urgent hearing to stop the arrests on bochurim so far, on regular, yeshiva bochurim. Yesterday, one of the bochurim was said to be arrested, and quickly they called Tzeva Shachor. It's a special group that they have, that they just, with an alert, everyone comes, and they came to protest, and they stopped the arrest from happening. The Israeli government officially voted to recognize the Armenian genocide. Foreign Minister Gideon Saar brought the resolution to the cabinet for approval. The Armenian genocide took place between the spring of 1915 and the fall of 1916 at least 664,000, and possibly as many as 1.2 million Armenians were killed, massacred. They died in both massacres and individual killings as well. They were also killed through systematic ill-treatment, exposure and starvation by the Ottoman Empire under Turkey. Saar called the events horrific genocide. He stated it is never too late to recognize historic facts. Israel avoided this step for years to protect diplomatic ties that they had with Turkey until now. Turkey still denies that the massacres were a genocide. Well, in southern Israel, police have seized a stolen military anti-tank rocket launcher. Officers found the weapon, an M72 LAW, it's called a law, inside a car in the Negev town of Tel Sheva. The shoulder-mounted launcher, it looks like an RPG, is designed to destroy tanks and was originally stolen from the Israeli military. Police also found flammable materials inside the vehicle, which investigators believe is connected to a local criminal activity. Yesterday, we reported that Israelis and Lebanese have signed a peace agreement together with the Americans in Washington to end their 78-year conflict. The new framework sets up a process to disarm Hezbollah and let the Lebanese army take over southern Lebanon. But Hezbollah flatly rejected it. The United States is pushing hard to finalize the terms, obviously. President Donald J. Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio all made personal calls to Israeli and Lebanese officials. The United States will provide $100 million in humanitarian aid and training aid for Lebanese troops. President Donald J. Trump promised full American support for help to Lebanon to be able to control its entire country. Inside Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu backed the deal, and the Prime Minister says it preserves security, weakens Hezbollah, and breaks the Iranian axis. Defense Minister Israel Katz called the agreement a historic achievement for diplomacy and security in the region, but he still stressed that Israel will keep its security zone within the Yellow Line, including the Beaufort Ridge, the castle that they took over. He says Israeli forces will not fully withdraw until Hezbollah is completely disarmed. The military chief of staff, Eyal Zamir, says recent military strength is what made this deal very possible. Peace through strength. Inside the Lebanese government, Hezbollah politician Nawef Moussaoui claimed that Lebanese President Joseph Aoun has asked the country's army commander, his name is Rodolphe Hakol, to resign, which is very interesting because he recently promoted him, actually. Meanwhile, Israeli airstrikes also hit terror targets in southern Lebanese villages of Mifdon and Nabatia el-Fawaka. Separately, Israeli troops stationed in southern Syria were doing some sort of operation there, and they were fired upon with guns, though this is very interesting what happened, actually. Though, thankfully, no injuries reported. Interesting. On Sunday evening, the Israeli military has used 80 tons of explosives to blow up one of the largest underground bases belonging to Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. The explosion was so incredibly powerful that residents in the northern Israel residents had to be warned in advance that it might trigger local earthquake alarms. The underground base was built with the help of and from Iran. It was a massive drone facility stretching over 200 meters long and 25 meters deep. Inside the military found, you see when you need punctuation, hundreds of weapons and 4 launch shafts aimed directly at Israeli territory. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz both confirmed that the base was completely destroyed. An Israeli drone strike in Gaza City has killed Hamas terrorist Sama Abu Kamil, his name was. They made the levaya for him, a funeral. The strike hit the terrorist on Al-Jalla Street. During the funeral in Gaza, armed terrorists chanted this anti-Jewish slogan, a very ancient slogan from the 7th century. Kaibar Yahud. Ya Yahud. The chant is a violent battle cry referring to a 7th century massacre of Yidden, Shem Yinkedumim, in the town of Khaybar. They used it today as a direct death threat to Jews. And yet, just last week, a British jury took exactly 28 minutes to acquit a group of women who were caught chanting that exact same threat at a London protest. Following the October 7th attacks, Sama Abu Kamil has posted online that he would not leave Gaza except to go to his grave, and so his Neviah was obviously carried out, and he went to his grave in Gaza, in Gaza. The full chant is usually Khaybar, Khaybar, Ya Yahud, Jaish Muhammad Suaffa Yahud. Machshema translates it, if you translate it, it means Khaybar, Khaybar, O Jews, the army of Muhammad will return. It is a violent battle cry referring to a 7th century massacre in 628 CE, when an early Islamic army slaughtered the Yidden living in the Arabian town of Khaybar, which is in Saudi Arabia. In the times of Bostanai, those you remember, in times of Buvel, a place called Khaybar was a wealthy oasis town in the Arabian Peninsula in modern-day Saudi Arabia. That was inhabited, it's called Medina, that's what it was called then, It was inhabited by Jewish tribes. And the year 628, which is the 7th century, the early Muslim army attacked the town under Muhammad, slaughtered the Jewish men, and took the women and children captive. Today, terrorists and protesters use it as a direct death threat to the Jews. Yimach Shemam v'zichram. The Israeli military has killed 2 armed terrorists who were approaching the border from Syria. This is the sound of war, my friends, that people are listening to and hearing every single day almost in that area in Israel. Soldiers spotted the men walking inside the military buffer zone near Syrian town of Hadar. Now they moved towards the border and soldiers opened fire, killing both individuals. The military is currently holding their bodies. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is strongly condemning daily threats from Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan. Speaking at a cabinet meeting, Netanyahu said that Erdogan calls for the destruction of Israel almost every single day. The Prime Minister emphasized that these threats must be taken seriously because of the lessons we learned from Jewish history. Israel plans to raise the issue directly with the American allies. This diplomatic fight comes as the United States is considering selling jet engines and F-35 fighter jets to Turkey. YS Capital Group is the answer when you need to borrow some money. 718-831-2168. And welcome, thank you so much for YS Capital for being a loyal sponsor on Edge. If you want to get a loan, the best place to get a loan with no closing fees is YS Capital Group. 3 Yidden are said to be killed, and 4 others are still missing after the 2 massive earthquakes that hit Venezuela on Wednesday last week, less than 2 hours apart. 80 Jewish families had their homes completely destroyed, and another 200 Jewish families are currently sleeping in temporary shelters, too terrified to return to their cracked buildings. A small infant baby was found, Benes, alive, crying. This brings me to tears when I see this. It's unbelievable, this. As of Mamash and Ness, the baby was buried under this rubble for days now, and they found this baby yesterday. As of Monday today, they said 1,719 people are confirmed dead. Oh, this is hard to even digest. 5,034 people are injured, and officials estimate that 68,000 people are still missing. The sources, these numbers are from family-run websites that claim that 46,000 listed are missing so far, and another one crowdsourced count now over 52,000 people still not found, and more than 15,000 people have been displaced. In total, 189 buildings collapsed completely. The United States military is working around the clock to fly in aid, heavy machines, and rescue personnel. They're there now. The body and Israel's also, despite the fact that the countries had a very shaky ties, I would say, between Israel and Venezuela for a long time under the Maduro regime, the Israeli government sent over some personnel there as well, Zaka, and now they're sending special engineering teams to help with the terrible situation. Speaking of another terrible situation, last week we reported about an accident that happened in Moldova during a trip with a Chernobyl Rebbe that went to visit one of the Kvurim of the Tzaddikim there. The body of Bakiva Rand, an English boy from London, has finally arrived in Yerushalayim. He lived in Yerushalayim. The young Avrich was tragically killed in a car accident in Moldova last week. Now the sad part about this is, I didn't know actually, his body return obviously follows several days of difficult international efforts to bring his body back home to Yerushalayim. Congressman Mike Lawler's deputy chief of staff, Rafi Silberberg, who's a tzaddik of a Yid, was contacted for assistance and immediately reached out to Congressman Mike Lawler. The two spent hours working through diplomatic channels and ties with U.S. and Moldovan officials in an effort to secure the release of the body. Congressman Lawler's wife, who is originally from Moldova, also helped facilitate contacts with senior officials as efforts intensified throughout the day. The Levaya was scheduled and was on Motzei Shabbos. I believe it was on Motzei Shabbos already. Anyway, Mez Neshama have an aliyah. Another sad story. A bucher was very seriously injured in Spring Valley on Friday afternoon after a car struck him while he was riding an electric bicycle. The crash happened at the intersection of South Cole Avenue and Route 59 exactly 1 hour before the Zman. Rockland Datzula volunteers rushed to the scene to treat the injured bucher, and he was then rushed to Westchester Medical Center in serious condition. The public is asked to say Tehillim for Mayadov ben Ruchel Tzivia. This scooter business is dangerous. A lot of stores have stopped. Toys for You stopped as well, selling it. People cannot, boys that don't have licenses, you can't just ride these scooters. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. I urge you, please, if you listen to me now on the news, take this seriously. It's not a joke. You can save lives. May he have a big Refi Shleima. Anyway, let's continue the news. Money stolen from the federal food stamp program, SNAP, is going to people connected to terrorist groups. And they've investigated it and found out that it's true. Stolen funds from SNAP assistance programs have reached these foreign groups and individuals. And therefore they made a hearing, and obviously in Congress, and they confirmed it. The Inspector General for Agriculture Department confirmed this to Congress. At the same time, President Trump has nominated Lancey Schroyer to be the next director of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Listen to this. On Truth Social, he wrote, Lance has first-hand experience getting illegal aliens off our streets, and just like me and our Secretary of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen, he loves the men and women of ICE or NICE. Schroyer is a former Oklahoma State trooper and a United States Marine with 29 years of law enforcement experience. President Trump praised Schroyer as a proven leader, saying he expects him to deport criminal illegal aliens at record rates. The president demanded that the Senate confirm Schroyer immediately and without delay. He's been boasting and posting on Truth Social, obviously, about the fact that he has, and he says, it sounds even sad to be so proud of such a thing, but he's had the highest rate of arrests of illegal criminal aliens in America. 10 people were rushed to the hospital after a woman on a motorcycle lost control and plowed into a crowd in Brooklyn Park. You see what I'm trying to say? Motorcycle? This wasn't a regular motorcycle. This was a moped. Now, the driver rode through Commodore Barry Park, hitting 9 pedestrians who were walking in her path. Police say the driver was unable to control her motorcycle before crashing directly into the crowd. 4 of the injured victims are currently in critical but stable condition. Oy, Tata Zis Hashem Yerachem. The 3 federal... Enough. No more scooters. No more of these electric stuff. This needs a license. By the way, in New Jersey, you have to you're required to have a license. I believe in New York they're pushing this now as well, the DMV. So you have to have a license in order to ride these electric bikes and scooters. If your daughter wants to ride electric bikes and scooters, please be careful. They cannot just ride in the streets with it. And don't ride them at all. Don't ride them. Stop with it. Enough. 3 federal wildland firefighters were killed fighting a massive wildfire in the border of Colorado and Utah. The fast-moving fire trapped them and burned them right over in their position. Several other firefighters were injured in the same exact incident. Wildfires are growing very fast across the West right now because of the strong winds and extreme heat right now. Meanwhile, a massive heat dome is trapping hot air and high humidity across much of the United States. Extreme heat warning is already in place for Minnesota and also the Midwest and the East Coast, who will see temperatures above 100 degrees for the July 4th weekend. Now, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is back in the news, announced during a television interview that he does not support Israel as a Jewish state. When he was asked that question, if he supports it as being a Jewish state, potentially. The mayor claimed that Israel is using billions of dollars in American military aid to violate international law and harm civilians. The Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, strongly criticized the mayor's comments by simply stating the dots connected themselves eventually. During the same broadcast, Mayor Mamdani stated that he will not run for president in the future. They asked him that, saying that he has no interest in trying to change the United States Constitution so he could be eligible to run. Mayor Mamdani was born in Uganda and became a naturalized citizen in 2018. Not neutralized. This makes him ineligible to run for presidency, which is a position that is only open to people who were U.S. citizens from birth. Arrive Express, 845-622-1111 or 845-254-1111. We're talking right now, Arrive Express is the taxi in the upstate region. If you're looking to go to the country, traveling anywhere, going places, you need Arrive Express. A skydiving plane crashed in eastern France on Sunday, killing all 11 people on board. The pilot was killed. 5 skydiving students and 5 instructors all went down right after takeoff near the city of Nancy. It was the worst skydiving crash in France in about 30 years. That same day, in Saudi Arabia, we spoke about the place before, right? A helicopter crashed in Saudi Arabia, killing all 14 people on board. The helicopter belonged to the state oil company Aramco. Right, Aramco, we spoke about this many times throughout our financial part of the news. Didn't mention a lot where the oil is right now. The oil is pretty low right now, it's not so high. Again, it went up a little bit after the recent news with the airstrikes. And this helicopter went down at an oil port in the east of the country. Everyone killed was from Saudi Arabia, and the cause of both crashes still being checked. Both the French and the Saudi Arabian. The FBI, now this is the last bit of news, used advanced artificial intelligence software to investigate the attacks targeting President Donald J. Trump during this year's White House Correspondents' Dinner. Federal investigators used software from a company called Edgware in the first 2 days after the attack. They used this software to review seized devices, cloud accounts, and travel records. Agents also scanned hours of security footage from the Washington Hilton where the dinner took place. The software lets investigators ask the artificial intelligence questions to instantly find pictures of the suspect, called Thomas Allen. Edgware says the data stays entirely inside the agency and is not used to train other systems. Obviously, police departments are starting to use the software more often to work on cold cases and finding missing people. Protobyte, the missing key, the missing detail when it comes to your business. You need a good software to run your business, you need good programs, and in general, a good website. Protobyte, 347-354-1237. Again, the number is 347-354-1237, proto-byte.com. All right, my friends, have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll see each other by Ezra's Baruch tomorrow.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.